Welcome to Highland Laddie workshop. In this workshop we're going through all the lessons of Highland Laddie. You can click on the link below for some sheet music. I got highlighted different parts where to follow along for those lessons. And yeah, let's get started. We're going to start off on low A. So low A, bottom hand, pinky fingers up, top hand, all the fingers are on, and there's the thumb on the back. If you need a review of hand positioning with the chanter, struggling reaching the holes, check out my beginner workshop link. You can also access that workshop through the link listed below. So we're on low A and we're going up one note to B. And I should mention first this little chunk of music. I'll just play, we're not going through the full two lines. There's 4 lines in the tune. We're not going to go through the full 2 lines I just played. Just this first little chunk of music. And we're going to take out the embellishments for a moment, then we'll add them back in. So we're on the low A, and we go up to that B as I mentioned. Now that B is quite short before we're already jumping up to the D. So it's kind of, that first low A is long, short D. So long, we're short on that B, and then we jump up to the D. So we're on the low A, we lift up the ring finger to the B, and then from B up to D, we have to drop down that pinky finger and raise up all the other fingers of the bottom hand. Our top hand has done nothing so far. After that D, which is a bit longer, we go up to the E. This is just like going up the scale from D to E. But there is a lot of fingers on the move here, so that can be a challenging one if you're just getting started on the practice chanter. So I'll just play that transition a couple times from D up to E. And you'll hear that's the ambulance sound that the, that the chanter gives us. So D up to E. Again, this E is going to be very short, kind of like we had that short B. Now we have this short E before going up to the F. So we're on the D, that E is quite short, and when we go from D to E, we have to drop down to the low A position on that bottom hand, so the pinky finger's up, all the other fingers are down, and at the same time we're lifting up that ring finger of the top hand. That's our D to E. A very tricky transition compared to our E to F, which is just lifting up that middle finger of the top hand. Bottom hand does nothing. And then our last note for this little chunk of music, then we'll add in embellishments in a moment. We're on that F, we're going up to high A, so we're dropping down the ring finger of the top hand and lifting up the thumb off the back of the chanter, and you don't have to lift it up super far. I'm just trying to give you a visual. But yeah, it comes off the chanter, and the other fingers of the top hand should be off too. So just the ring finger holding. So that's all the note transitions. So let's just play through that a couple times. Then we'll add in the embellishments if you're into that sort of thing. So that's our first chunk of music, and where to put the downbeats. So I'm not going to go into too much music theory detail, but this is a 2/4 march, so we know there's 2 beats in each bar. A bar or a measure of music is between those vertical lines. So our first downbeat, and why are downbeats important? Well, when you get to tapping your foot, or you're doing a metronome, or you're playing with a drummer, that's where the downbeats are happening. That foot tap or that drum beat is happening on the downbeats. So the first downbeat, you could just even do a little tick on the sheet music above that first D. And then the second one is right on that F. So that would be the 2 downbeats in that first bar of music. Our initial first 2 notes, those are just the pickup notes. So those pickup notes are are kind of before that first downbeat of the first bar of music. So not too much music theory details to scatter your brain. We want to learn this tune, we want to have some fun with it, but just a few little morsels to get started on. And then without further ado, let's add in those embellishments. But again, check out the link below. If you're not doing embellishments, you can hop on to lesson 2 with that link. So embellishments, in our pickup notes we have a G grace note on that low A, so our top finger is our G grace note, up and down with that top finger. So that's our G grace note. And then our next embellishment is going to be on the D. So we have our G grace note, we do our quick B, and then we're doing a D throw. So we're on the B very, very briefly. We go down to low G, and then do a D grace note. So that's the top finger of the bottom hand. That's the first half of a heavy D throw. That's the first half. Second half of the heavy D throw, we pop up to C by lifting up the middle 2 fingers, and then pop up to D by lifting up the top finger of the bottom hand. The top hand is not involved at all in this D throw. So if we put that second half of the D throw together with the first half, so that's our D throw, and it will take some time, but eventually the speed of the D throw will pick up. And when we're practicing that, we're playing this long B note, but we know that B is quite short. So if we come from that low A, playing a short B, so that would be a good way to practice that, keeping that B nice and short before you go into that D throw. Even if your D throw is quite slow at this point, it's still getting a little bit of that rhythm of the song with that shortened B note. So let's play what we got so far for embellishments. Our next embellishment, as you heard, after that D throw, we play the E just briefly, and then we're doing up to the F from the E. So that grace note, G grace note from E to F, we have to lift up the top finger first, and then the second finger lifts up, and then the top finger comes down, and we're done. No more after that. It's just a grace note, not a doubling here. So you want to make sure the first finger to move is that top finger, and that'll get you that proper sounding G grace note. And after that G grace note to the F, we're just going up to that high A without any embellishment at all. So I'll play through that lesson 1 chunk a couple more times for you. Maybe a couple times really slow and a couple times a little bit quicker. But again, check out the link below to take a look at other lessons for Highland Laddie here. If this is a bit too much, check out the beginner workshop. You can access it via that same link. And can't wait to see you in lesson 2. So until next time, happy piping!